Have you ever wondered why your girlfriend doesn't contact you for 2 or 3 days after spending an amazing weekend together? Does your husband dislike it when you sign him up for a weekend getaway with you and three other couples? Does your boyfriend seem tired after spending just one busy day with you? I think Introverts Explained, Why We Love You But Need a Break from You, will help you out. It will answer those questions, and if you replied yes to any of them, you will find answers within this course. This course, Introverts Explained, it is an extract from the bigger, fuller course titled, Is it Introversion or Insecure Attachment? So if you've already purchased Is it Introversion or Insecure Attachment, you don't need to buy this one. This course is pulled from that, and it's a standalone course, but it is the same information within the Is it Introversion or Insecure Attachment course. So just want to make that straight and clear up front. But let's move on with Introverts Explained. I will be your instructor for this. My name is Brenda Knowles, and I have been writing about introversion and relationships for over 8 years on my website, brendanowles.com. I also wrote a book titled The Quiet Rise of Introverts, 8 Practices for Living and Loving in a Noisy World, and that was published 2 years ago. And within that, I discuss the introvert's maturity continuum. We start out by talking about introverts in their primary families, their original families, and how they are dependent on them, and we move through independence and eventually into interdependence within an adult relationship. So it's a full spectrum, kind of a lifespan of someone who is more sensitive and introverted, and how they grow and develop and to learn how to be in relationships. Then I'm also trained in family mediation and child advocacy. I trained as a family mediator, which is an alternative to using an attorney when you're going through a divorce. I also spent years working as a child advocate for the juvenile justice system, where I advocated for children in court. These children had been removed from their homes due to neglect or abuse and were often in foster homes. So I have a very deep interest in people and families and their interconnectedness and those relationship dynamics. I use those that training from those two realms and use them in my personal coaching, which I've been doing through my website for years now as well, for 4 years, and I love it. I work with clients who are more highly sensitive or introverted, and I also work with their partners quite a bit. I also tend to see a lot of people who have high anxiety, and I just love working with them to build their emotional resilience and their relationship resilience. And I myself am an introvert, and I've learned over the years the beauty in that as well as the challenges, and I have done a lot of research and writing, and I love to share what I've learned with my readers, with my clients, and now with you, the students who are interested in the courses I'm creating. So I hope you really find this course helpful. Let's talk a little bit about what is covered in the course so you can see what you will learn if you take this course. So introversion, we'll talk about the biology of it. How is the introverted brain and body different than that of someone who's more extroverted? What are the characteristics of an introverted temperament? How do they act in the world? How do they present? How is socializing enacted with someone who is more introverted? How much socializing do they like? Who do they like to socialize with? What is their ideal setting for socialization or socializing? Really, they're already socialized, but how do they communicate? How do they prefer to communicate? And in that lecture, I'll talk about texting and phone use and writing and all kinds of things that give you an idea of what is comfortable, where an introvert excels for communication, and what might be difficult for them. We'll also talk about stress, sleep, sex, space, and self-consciousness in a kind of catch-all lecture that encompasses all of those areas. And those are kind of areas where introverts tend to not stumble, but just have a different attitude or a different way of working their way through those different areas. And I want you to understand where they're coming from when they're asking for space, or when they're feeling self-conscious, or when they really, really are expressing their need to sleep and they have maybe some fastidious sleep habits. And then lastly, we'll talk about the main reasons someone who is introverted will seem to withdraw or pull back from a relationship. And those are often very puzzling times for people who are partners to them. And it may even be a puzzling thing for someone who is an introvert. We want to understand why we need that break, why we are distancing or pulling away from the people we love. So I hope this course gives you a good idea of how an introvert prefers to be in the world and why sometimes it seems they pull away. And this will ideally give you all very secure and healthy relationships, because you'll have a greater understanding of each other and you'll be able to work together better. And that's my whole intention and goal for the course, is to help people create these secure, loving relationships that feel safe and that create a lot of that have a lot of deep understanding. So good luck, enjoy the course.